What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a pocket clip for your Victorinox. This is the SwissQlip. It is from Clip and Carry, and they did a fundraising campaign, which was very successful. Now they're just for sale. Obviously, if you got in on the campaign, it was a lot cheaper, but the price for these now is $25. Not everyone's going to want to pay $25 for this, but there's plenty of people who might. If you're very into your Victorinox knives and always wanted a pocket clip for them, well, this is obviously one solution. So the first thing is, duh, why didn't anyone think about this a long time ago, right? Every time we see new innovation, it seems like it's almost obvious. So many people love Victorinox knives, but so many people prefer to have a knife clipped to their pocket as opposed to loose floating around inside of a pocket. How this attaches is really, really simple, all right? It just has a tiny little screw, okay, that goes through the eyelet on the models that have a key ring, okay? So the ones that have the little split ring on here, which I keep, by the way, because those are, of course, very handy. All you do is remove the split ring and use that hole to attach it, and it attaches very firmly. You can see, I saved the paperwork here, just goes through like that. Could not be easier. They claim it was able to be attached in under a minute, and I would say that is 100% true. It probably took me all 30 seconds. And actually carrying it carries very well. Obviously, the thicker the model is, the more tools, it's going to be a little bit more uncomfortable. Most of us are used to carrying pretty flat knives. Even if you have a large knife, the profile of it's probably not really thick. All right, so once you start getting into multi-tools that are clipped, for example, something like a Leatherman Wave, the Leatherman Wingman. The Leatherman Wingman specifically was probably the most carried full-size multi-tool by myself because it had a nice pocket clip on it. And that's a hunk. I mean, it's fat, usually a lot heavier. This one's not too bad, obviously being a lot smaller than a full-size multi-tool. But just something to consider. If you've never done it before, having something wider, it kind of opens up the pocket a little bit. When you sit down, if you happen to have snugger pants, you'll feel that pressure because it is thicker. All right, so real quick, I want to go over all the different models this is actually going to fit in case you did have interest. This is the one you already carry. These are all 91mm models, by the way. So we have the Angler, Camper, Climber, Compact, Cyber Tool Light, Explorer, Fieldmaster, Fisherman, Handyman, Hiker, Huntsman, Huntsman Light, Mountaineer, Ranger, Spartan, Spartan Light, Swiss Champ, Tinker, Tinker Deluxe, and Super Tinker. All right, so those are all the models this would be compatible with because they all have that little ring. Now, something worth mentioning is that this is available both in black as well as chrome. I didn't buy this. This was sent for me just to check out. I think the chrome one will look a lot better on most models just because, as we know, all these tools are very highly polished. So it almost looks like it belongs or it fits. The black clip would look good on specific models, maybe different colors or different variants. But as far as, it carries totally fine. You can see the profile here. All right, you can get material all the way up to the top, but I found that more times than not when I was carrying this, it was carrying up to the base of where this tool is, all right? So although it's deep conceal, you have to kind of force that last little bit so that the pants material, the pocket material goes up into the crevice all the way to the top, all right, if you did want that kind of deeper concealed carry. Right away in carrying this, even though I wasn't using all these tools, I was mostly just using the knife, I found that there were two tools that were difficult to get to because of it being on there. So the first tool that was inaccessible, which should be obvious here, are the tweezers. All right, so normally you would just use your thumbnail on top of the end of the tweezers to pluck it out, right? But now that entire area is covered with the pocket clip. I very quickly realized that if I take the toothpick out, I can use that as a tool to fetch the tweezers. All right, so you just put the tip of that on the back of the tweezers and just lift up. All right, so that wasn't a huge issue. I'm not using the tweezers frequently, so I wasn't super concerned with that. But then after the first day in carrying this, I was kind of looking around to see if there's any other tools, and there is. Now on this side of this particular model, we have a Phillips head screwdriver. We also have a awl, all right, sewing awl and punch, and you can use that for various different things. But we also have a parcel hook, okay? And that is not really accessible. If I put these tools back down, it's hard to get my nail behind this. Now, obviously, without the clip on there, you just stick your fingernail on the top portion. But you can't really access this, and there's no nail nick on either side of this, okay? Because it's not meant to be, pulled from the side. It's meant to be pulled from the top. Now, just like the problem with the tweezers, there is a solution to it. I use the toothpick to get the tweezers out. And then once the tweezers are out, I use that because it has more stability than the toothpick to get that parcel hook out. Okay, just like so. Now this parcel hook tool is actually pretty underrated. This is a tool that I barely ever use because I just don't think of it. However, it can be very useful. I've seen videos where people did, 40 different uses for this type of thing. Everything from using it as like a phone stand for your cell phone. I've seen people use this to pull the stakes, those L-shaped stakes out of the ground, when they're really in the ground hard when you're camping and stuff. You can be pretty creative. I saw some of the models that have the pen. People put the pen in this channel right here and then close the parcel hook on top of it so that they can use the entire knife as a handle for the pen, because those Victorinox pens are very small and thin. So you can get very creative with that tool. The original purpose was so that you can hold things that were bound with twine. Okay, so back in the day, a stack of newspapers or magazines would have twine wrapped around it. And instead of using your fingertips to hold the twine, because it would dig in, it would be very uncomfortable, you would use the tip of that hook, all right? And then you can use this like a handle, all right? So you can carry a stack of stuff. So pretty interesting tool. I just don't personally use it that much. So with this pocket clip, the fact that it's inaccessible is really not that big of a deal. The tweezers I do use more often than the parcel hook. So that's not a huge deal, as you saw. It's just simply overcome by using the toothpick as a tool. But obviously the toothpick is a soft plastic, and I guess if you did that a lot, you would probably bend this or misshapen the tip of that, and then you can't really use your toothpick for its intended purpose. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It is a simple solution to a problem that some people have. It's really cool. Is it $25 cool? Well, that would totally be up to you as the consumer, but there's really no other options as far as adding a clip to all those different models. It's really easy to do. Like I said, it took less than a minute to get it on there, and it is very functional. You do just lose a couple of those tools, at least quick accessibility to them. So that's it for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comment section, do you EDC a Victorinox knife? And if you do, what model do you prefer? People do ask me occasionally, what model should I get? There's a ton of them. I always tell people, get the biggest model available that you're going to use all the tools. It's that simple. You don't have to carry, a massive Victorinox knife if you're only using the little knife. But if you find you are using these other tools, then go ahead and get a bigger model that's going to have more options for you. But yeah, just keep in mind, if you are using this pocket clip, the fatter that gets, the more awkward and uncomfortable it's going to be in the pocket. But for most of the models, it's totally fine. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.